Yo, it's Yerk, and today I have 10 tips and tricks for using the new prop mover device. Be sure to stick around till the very end because at the end, I'm going to show you guys how to make a super easy elevator, but let's get right into it. To start it off, let's go with tip number 10. You guys can actually put prop movers on llamas, and doing so makes it kind of like the chapter 3 llamas that move around and jump and stuff, but now we have llamas just like the ones in BR, and we're not just using these super old llamas like we used to. Tip number 9. Some props kinda just look goofy when using the prop mover. Like, for example, let's look at this helicopter. See, the blades aren't moving and it kinda just kills the effect completely. But you guys can actually use special props that have motion in combination with these props to make them look more realistic. For example, here I am using the Pandora spinning propeller prop, and I'm combining that with the helicopter to make it look like the helicopter's a little bit more realistic. Tip number 8. Now this is a bonus trick to the last one, but if you guys set the prop mover to actually deal damage when colliding with other props, you can make things explode like this helicopter is going to, because the two props are constantly colliding and thus damaging each other, and it makes a cool explosion effect. Tip number 7. Now the prop mover works with just about everything in creative, and if you guys can't find the right prop for what you're trying to make, you can actually just make your own custom assets to fit your needs. As long as you add a prop manipulator with the exact same settings to every piece, it'll work and act as a singular prop. Just be sure that the arrows are pointing in the exact same direction and make sure you're using grid snap when you place them. But here's an example of me on a little ski lift thing that I built, and this is, as you can see, a bunch of custom props. Number 6. Combining the prop mover with prop manipulators allows you to create the illusion that the prop is rotating. Until we get something like a prop rotator device, this is the only way to change the orientation of a prop that is also using a prop mover, but you can actually make it look pretty smooth if you do it right. So just play around with it, and you guys already know how to use the prop manipulators, but combining the two can make some really cool effects. Trick number 5. You can actually put more than one prop mover on a single prop. Doing this allows you to control the speed of the prop in each direction. For example, let's look at these forklifts. So it doesn't really look that natural when the forklift is just going back and forth and it's going at the same speed. But if we were to use two prop movers and we set one facing backwards to be slower than the one that's going forwards, we're gonna get a much more realistic looking effect. Tip number 4. This tip is another bonus tip to the last tip, but not only can you use two prop movers to change the speed, but you can actually have two prop movers going in two totally different directions on a single prop. Now, this trick doesn't work with every prop because we don't have a rotator and the orientation of some props is kind of important, but for things that don't have a certain direction, like this cube for example, this trick works great. Tip number 3. Think smarter and not harder. Sometimes the effect that you want to create would require dozens of prop movers, but if you guys think outside the box, you can oftentimes achieve the same effect, and oftentimes it's going to be more efficient and still pull off the exact same thing you were trying to do. So for example, say I want to sink the boat. I could put a bunch of prop movers all over the boat facing down, or I could just put a prop mover on the water facing up. Save memory and time. Tip number 2. One floor piece is equal to 5 meters. Remembering that will help you easily get the distance you guys want the prop to move, and you can judge about how far you want it to go, and also help you determine how fast you want this thing to go. The fastest a prop can move is just shy of 5 tiles per second, and it can travel up to 80 tiles. Little bit of math for ya. Trick number 1. The one you guys have all been waiting for. You can actually make an elevator using just one prop mover and 2 channels, and it's super simple. Place an elevator down, and you want to place this on your top floor. Then just place down your prop mover on the elevator and open up the settings. We're going to set the distance to 4 meters, then we're going to set reverse when receiving from channel 1 and advance when receiving from channel 2. Then we're just going to add a button on the top floor that says down inside the elevator and transmits on channel 1. And then on the outside of the elevator, we're going to put another button, and this is going to be to call the elevator, and this is going to transmit on channel 2. Then for the first floor, we're just going to flip the buttons around. So inside the elevator, we're going to put a button that says up, and it's going to transmit on channel 2, and on the outside, we're going to put the call button, and that's going to transmit on channel 1. So those are my top 10 tips to remember when using the prop mover, but shout out to Phoenix for joining as a member. Click the join button to learn about all the perks that come with being a channel member for just 99 cents a month. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay up.